then we have competitors like Tesla who are moving more quickly, are trying things that maybe some of the traditional automakers wouldn't try. And some consumers want this, not all consumers.
Mercedes-Benz is now at the center of a crisis shaking the entire auto industry. How did a company that defined sophistication find itself scrambling to survive? For over a century, Mercedes-Benz set the gold standard in the automotive world. Its vehicles were synonymous with excellence, luxury, and cutting-edge technology. But now, the landscape is shifting. The company's latest financial reports reveal alarming drops in profit margins, unsold electric vehicles piling up on dealership lots, and a global market that's rapidly losing interest in high-priced EVs. What went wrong for a company that once seemed unstoppable? Why are flagship models like the S-Class and EQ series struggling to find buyers? And how will this ripple effect impact the entire automotive ecosystem and you? What's happening? Imagine a brand so iconic that its emblem alone symbolized prestige and success. Mercedes-Benz wasn't just a car maker, it was a legacy, a name spoken in the same breath as luxury and innovation. From the S-Class, which became a benchmark for opulence, to its foray into electric vehicles with the EQ series, the company seemed poised to dominate every segment it entered. Yet today, the narrative has shifted dramatically. Mercedes-Benz's profit margins, once a robust 10%, have plunged to just 4.7%, a staggering decline that's left industry insiders questioning the company's future. The culprit, a combination of overestimated demand, skyrocketing production costs, and a market that's not ready for the brand's ambitious electric vehicle lineup. This isn't just a bad quarter or a temporary setback, it's a fundamental crisis that challenges everything Mercedes-Benz once stood for. Consumers, once eager to pay a premium for the badge, are turning to more affordable alternatives. And as the unsold inventory grows, the cracks in Mercedes-Benz's strategy are becoming impossible to ignore. The data behind the crisis. The numbers tell a story of ambition meeting harsh reality. Across the globe, unsold EQ series electric vehicles are accumulating at an alarming rate. Some models have been sitting on dealership lots for over 500 days, untouched and unwanted. This isn't just about individual dealerships struggling. It's a systemic issue that reflects a deeper misalignment between Mercedes-Benz's strategy and market demand. In China, a critical market for luxury automakers, sales of the S-Class and EQ series have plummeted. Once seen as the ultimate symbol of success, these vehicles are now considered overpriced in a market increasingly drawn to affordable electric options from domestic brands like BYD. Even in Germany and the United States, Mercedes-Benz's strongholds, consumer interest in their high-priced EVs is waning. Meanwhile, Tesla has continued to outpace Mercedes-Benz in the electric vehicle race. With its more affordable Model 3 and Model Y, Tesla has captured a broader audience. Mercedes-Benz, on the other hand, finds itself stuck in a luxury niche that's shrinking as consumers prioritize value and practicality over prestige. So how did Mercedes-Benz find itself in this predicament? Well, there are three main missteps for this downfall. Let me break it down for you. Overestimating the luxury EV market. Mercedes-Benz placed a massive bet on the allure of luxury electric vehicles, but that gamble didn't pay off as expected. The company believed that affluent buyers, drawn by the prestige of its brand, would flock to its high-priced electric intelligence series without hesitation. Encouraged by this assumption, Mercedes-Benz ramped up production, rolling out models that boasted advanced technology, cutting-edge features, and impeccable design. However, reality painted a starkly different picture. While the vehicles themselves were impressive, their steep price tags alienated a significant portion of the market. Affluent consumers who might typically purchase a traditional luxury vehicle were reluctant to embrace the transition to electric vehicles. The reasons were clear: range anxiety or the fear of running out of battery charge without access to a charging station remained a significant concern. Moreover, the charging infrastructure in many regions lagged far behind what was necessary to make owning an electric vehicle practical. These hurdles, combined with the high costs, meant that the expected flood of buyers never materialized. Mercedes-Benz's overestimation of demand left it with an excess of inventory, and dealerships began to feel the pressure. Models like the EQS, which should have been the crown jewel of its electric lineup, instead became symbols of an ambitious plan gone wrong. The disconnect between the company's expectations and consumer behavior exposed a fundamental miscalculation that would ripple across its entire strategy. Neglecting core luxury models, In its rush to claim dominance in the electric vehicle market, Mercedes-Benz lost sight of the vehicles that built its legacy. For decades, models like the E-Class and S-Class were the cornerstones of its lineup, representing luxury, performance, and reliability. These cars weren't just products, they were cultural touchstones, synonymous with success and sophistication. Yet, in the push to electrify its portfolio, Mercedes-Benz allowed these iconic models to fall by the wayside. As the company redirected resources and attention toward its electric intelligence lineup, traditional luxury sedans and sport utility vehicles received less innovation and fewer updates. Competitors, meanwhile, capitalized on the opportunity to fill the gap. Brands like BMW and Audi introduced luxury sedans that matched or exceeded Mercedes-Benz's offerings, often at lower price points. The once dominant E-Class now found itself competing in a crowded market of luxury sedans that provided similar features but with better value propositions. This neglect was most evident in global sales figures. Mercedes-Benz's traditional models began to lose ground, not because they were inferior vehicles, but because the brand no longer positioned them as the pinnacle of luxury. Consumers noticed the shift, and many who once swore by Mercedes-Benz began exploring alternatives. In trying to leap ahead to the future, the company inadvertently weakened the foundation of its success, creating vulnerabilities that its competitors were quick to exploit. The fallout of misaligned strategies. Mercedes-Benz's missteps didn't stop at overestimating demand or neglecting its core models. Its pricing and production strategies compounded the problems, leading to a series of cascading challenges. By producing large volumes of high-priced electric vehicles in anticipation of soaring demand, the company found itself with bloated inventories when that demand failed to materialize. Dealerships, already struggling to sell electric vehicles to skeptical buyers, were forced to resort to steep discounts and incentives to clear their lots. For example, models like the EQB and EQC, designed as more affordable options within the lineup, still sat unsold, despite price reductions. This relentless discounting not only hurt the dealership's profit margins, but also eroded the brand's image of exclusivity. A luxury brand built on the promise of premium value was now associated with clearance sales and stagnant inventory. Beyond the financial strain, the situation also tarnished Mercedes-Benz's reputation. Consumers began questioning whether the brand's electric vehicles were worth their high price tags, especially when competitors like Tesla and BYD offered more compelling options. The once iconic three-pointed star, long a symbol of prestige and innovation, risked becoming a cautionary tale of misaligned strategies and missed opportunities. If Mercedes-Benz is to recover, it must address these issues head-on, recalibrating its approach to pricing, production, and market demand. Ripple effects across the industry. Mercedes-Benz's struggles aren't happening in isolation. The luxury automaker's decline is sending shockwaves throughout the industry, highlighting vulnerabilities that even the most established brands can't escape. Other luxury automakers like BMW and Audi are grappling with similar challenges. Overproduction, high prices, and a slower than expected transition to electric vehicles are putting pressure on profit margins across the board. Even Tesla, despite its dominance, faces growing competition from newer players like BYD and Rivian. The implications for consumers are significant. As automakers struggle to balance rising production costs with declining demand, car prices across all segments are expected to rise. Dealerships already burdened with unsold inventory are facing layoffs and closures, further disrupting the market. And for buyers, whether they're looking for a luxury EV or an affordable sedan, the choices are becoming more limited and expensive. Mercedes-Benz's wake-up call is a sign of deeper shifts in the automotive industry. It's not just about one company's missteps, it's about an entire market being forced to confront the realities of a changing world. The overambitious leap into electric vehicles. Mercedes-Benz entered the electric vehicle market with grand ambitions. Determined to lead the industry into a sustainable future, the brand poured billions of dollars into the development of its electric intelligence lineup. The company unveiled futuristic electric sedans and sport utility vehicles that boasted cutting-edge technology, bold design, and a commitment to zero-emission mobility. However, beneath the surface, cracks in the strategy were already forming. The optimism was palpable within Mercedes-Benz's leadership. They projected a rapid and smooth transition for their traditional luxury buyers to adopt electric vehicles. However, the market dynamics were far less forgiving. Key regions like North America, Europe, and China did not respond as expected. Many consumers were hesitant, citing challenges like limited range, insufficient charging infrastructure, and steep price tags. Even the wealthiest buyers, who typically formed the core audience for Mercedes-Benz, showed reluctance to embrace the shift to electric vehicles. sales. Adding to the complexity, the electric vehicle lineup was priced significantly higher than what the average consumer could justify. Models like the electric S-Class were introduced with a price tag exceeding $135,000. Even with its luxury features and advanced technology, this pricing strategy alienated a large portion of the market. Consumers began looking elsewhere, often to brands like Tesla and BYD, which offered more affordable yet competitive alternatives. In China, a market critical to Mercedes-Benz's global strategy, the electric vehicle lineup struggled even more. The S-Class, once a symbol of status and wealth, failed to capture the attention of buyers. Domestically produced electric vehicles from brands like BYD began dominating the market, offering affordability and localized features that appealed to Chinese consumers. As sales in this pivotal region plummeted, the broader impact on Mercedes-Benz's financial stability became evident. The pricing problem. At the heart of Mercedes-Benz's challenges lies its pricing strategy, which has historically set it apart as a luxury brand. For decades, the company relied on its reputation for quality and innovation to justify high price tags. However, the shift to electric vehicles has disrupted this dynamic. In the world of electric vehicles, pricing is as much about accessibility as it is about prestige, and Mercedes-Benz's inability to strike this balance has created a significant gap between what it offers and what the market demands. Take the EQS, the flagship sedan of Mercedes-Benz's electric intelligence lineup. With a price exceeding $140,000, it is among the most expensive electric sedans on the market. While it offers premium features such as advanced autonomous driving systems, a luxurious interior, and state-of-the-art battery technology, these features have not been enough to justify its cost to many buyers. In comparison, Tesla's Model S, priced significantly lower, has managed to capture a larger market share by providing similar performance and features at a more accessible price point. The situation becomes even more dire when comparing Mercedes-Benz's offerings to those of emerging competitors. Chinese brands like BYD have introduced electric vehicles at a fraction of the cost, appealing to a broader audience. BYD's models are not only affordable but also tailored to local markets, offering features and designs that resonate with regional preferences. This competitive pressure has exposed the weaknesses in Mercedes-Benz's approach, particularly in its inability to cater to the growing demand for mid-range electric vehicles. The pricing problem extends beyond just individual models. It is a systemic issue rooted in the company's strategic decisions. Mercedes-Benz has positioned itself as a premium brand for so long that it struggles to adapt to the evolving expectations of electric vehicle consumers. While luxury and performance remain important, today's buyers are equally concerned with value, efficiency, and affordability, criteria that Mercedes-Benz's electric vehicle lineup fails to meet consistently. The dealer strain. Mercedes-Benz's pricing and production challenges are most visible at the dealership level, where the strain on operations is reaching critical levels. Dealerships, which serve as the primary point of contact between the brand and its customers, are bearing the brunt of unsold inventory and declining consumer interest. Across major markets, rows of unsold electric vehicles sit idly in dealership lots, a stark reminder of the company's overproduction and misaligned strategy. The financial burden on dealerships is immense. To address the lack of demand, many dealers have resorted to offering substantial discounts on electric vehicle models. For instance, the EQB, a smaller electric sport utility vehicle designed to appeal to families, has been discounted by thousands of dollars in certain regions. Yet even with these price cuts, many buyers remain unconvinced, further exacerbating the financial strain on dealerships. The logistical challenges are equally severe. Dealerships are running out of space to store unsold inventory, forcing some to lease additional lots or repurpose showroom space to accommodate the growing backlog. This surplus inventory creates a ripple effect, disrupting sales cycles and delaying the introduction of newer models. Dealers are left grappling with the dual challenge of clearing outdated stock while trying to generate interest in incoming vehicles. The tension between dealerships and Mercedes-Benz headquarters is also mounting. Dealers have called for adjustments in production targets and more aggressive marketing efforts to drive sales. However, these demands often go unmet, leading to frustration and strained relationships. Many dealers feel abandoned as they are forced to shoulder the consequences of strategic missteps made at the corporate level. The industry's growing pains. Mercedes-Benz's struggles are emblematic of a broader challenge facing the automotive industry, the growing pains of transitioning to electric vehicles. Legacy automakers, once dominant in the internal combustion engine market, are finding the shift to electric mobility far more complex than anticipated. Companies like Volkswagen and BMW, which have also invested heavily in electric vehicle production, are grappling with similar issues of overproduction, high costs, and slower than expected adoption rates. Volkswagen's ID series, for example, was launched with much fanfare as the company's flagship electric vehicle lineup. However, the rollout has been plagued by production delays, software glitches, and quality concerns. These issues have undermined consumer confidence and slowed sales, leaving Volkswagen with unsold inventory and mounting costs. Similarly, BMW has struggled to differentiate its electric vehicle offerings in a crowded market, leading to lukewarm reception and financial strain. Even Tesla, widely regarded as the leader in the electric vehicle space, is not immune to challenges. While the company has revolutionized the industry with its innovative models and direct-to-consumer sales approach, it faces growing competition from new entrants like Rivian and Lucid Motors. These companies are carving out niches in the electric sport utility vehicle and luxury segments, challenging Tesla's dominance and forcing established automakers to rethink their strategies. One of the primary barriers to widespread electric vehicle adoption is infrastructure. Despite significant advancements in battery technology, the availability of fast charging stations remains limited in many regions. This lack of infrastructure creates range anxiety among potential buyers, discouraging them from making the switch to electric vehicles. For Mercedes-Benz and other automakers, this represents a significant hurdle that requires collaborative efforts with governments and private entities to overcome. The electric vehicle market is also facing a pricing conundrum. While the technology has advanced rapidly, the cost of production remains high. Materials like lithium and cobalt, essential for battery manufacturing, are expensive and subject to supply chain disruptions. These costs are ultimately passed on to consumers, making electric vehicles less accessible to the average buyer. Dealerships under pressure. The fallout from Mercedes-Benz's misaligned strategies has been most palpable at its dealerships. These frontline representatives of the brand, once the gatekeepers of luxury, are now grappling with unsold inventory, strained relationships with headquarters, and disillusioned customers. Across the globe, dealership lots are packed with rows of electric vehicles that no one wants to buy. The high-priced electric vehicle models, particularly those in the electric intelligence lineup, are struggling to find buyers. Even steep discounts, which should make these vehicles more appealing, have failed to clear the surplus inventory. Dealers have resorted to offering thousands of dollars off certain models like the EQB, yet the vehicles remain on their lots, gathering dust. The financial implications for dealerships are severe. Reduced profit margins on discounted vehicles are squeezing operations, leaving many dealers questioning their long-term viability. This strain is further exacerbated by the logistical challenges of managing such large inventories. Dealerships have run out of space, with some forced to rent additional lots to store the unsold stock. The surplus is not just a financial burden, it is a symbolic one. Rows of unsold vehicles send a clear message to potential customers. The demand isn't there. This perception damages the brand's exclusivity as luxury customers begin associating Mercedes-Benz with stagnation rather than innovation. The tension between dealerships and Mercedes-Benz headquarters is palpable. Dealers feel abandoned, left to bear the brunt of a strategy they had no role in shaping. They are calling for production cuts, better marketing, and more incentives to make the electric vehicle lineup attractive. However, the disconnect between headquarters and the dealerships shows no signs of narrowing, leaving the network in a precarious position. Global market challenges. Mercedes-Benz's struggles aren't confined to one region. They are part of a global pattern that highlights the broader challenges facing the automotive industry. In key markets like North America, Europe, and China, the brand's electric vehicles have failed to resonate with consumers as anticipated. Each market presents its own set of hurdles, amplifying the complexity of the situation. In North America, the high prices of Mercedes-Benz's electric vehicles have proven to be a significant barrier. While the brand has long been associated with luxury, even affluent consumers are now prioritizing value over prestige. This shift in priorities has left models like the EQS and EQ EQE, struggling to compete with Tesla's more accessible alternatives. Range anxiety and limited charging infrastructure further complicate the issue, discouraging potential buyers from making the leap to electric. Europe, often seen as the heartland of luxury automotive brands, presents a slightly different challenge. Here, competitors like BMW, Audi, and even Porsche have stepped up their game, offering electric vehicles that rival or exceed Mercedes-Benz's lineup in performance, design, and price. Consumers in Europe are spoiled for choice, and Mercedes-Benz's offerings are no longer the default option for luxury buyers. In China, the situation is perhaps most dire. Once a critical market for Mercedes-Benz, particularly for its luxury sedans, the brand now faces stiff competition from domestic automakers like BYD and NIO. These companies have mastered the art of producing affordable electric vehicles tailored to local preferences. As a result, Mercedes-Benz's electric intelligence lineup, with its premium pricing and Western-centric design, struggles to find a foothold. A changing industry. Mercedes-Benz's challenges are a microcosm of the broader transformation sweeping through the automotive industry. The shift toward electric vehicles, while necessary for environmental and regulatory reasons, has proven to be a far more difficult transition than many automakers anticipated. Legacy brands like Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Volkswagen are finding it increasingly hard to adapt to the demands of a market that prioritizes affordability and practicality over tradition and prestige. The electric vehicle market, though growing, remains in its infancy. Infrastructure, particularly charging networks, lags behind the needs of consumers. This creates a barrier to adoption, even for those willing to invest in electric vehicles. Moreover, the cost of electric vehicle production remains prohibitively high. Materials like lithium, cobalt, and nickel, essential for batteries, are expensive and subject to supply chain disruptions. These costs are passed on to consumers, making electric vehicles less accessible to the average buyer. Adding to the complexity is the emergence of new players like Tesla, Rivian, and Lucid Motors. These companies, unburdened by the legacy of internal combustion engines, have been able to innovate more freely. Tesla in particular has set a high bar for affordability, range, and performance, forcing legacy brands to play catch-up. Mercedes-Benz, once a symbol of stability and innovation, now finds itself at a crossroads. The company's missteps in pricing, production, and market positioning are symptoms of a larger issue: the difficulty of reconciling its storied past with the demands of a rapidly evolving future. The stakes couldn't be higher, not just for Mercedes-Benz, but for the entire luxury automotive sector. A call for strategic reinvention. Mercedes-Benz is at a pivotal moment in its history. The challenges it faces, overestimated demand, neglected legacy models, and bloated inventories, are severe but not insurmountable. To reclaim its position at the forefront of the automotive world, the company must embark on a strategic reinvention that addresses its core weaknesses. Mercedes-Benz wasn't just a car maker, it was a legacy, a name spoken in the same breath as luxury and innovation. Yet today, the narrative has shifted dramatically. Mercedes-Benz's profit margins, once a robust 10%, have plunged to just 4.7%. The culprit, a combination of overestimated demand, skyrocketing production costs, and a market that's not ready for the brand's ambitious electric vehicle lineup. This isn't just a bad quarter or a temporary setback, it's a fundamental crisis that challenges everything Mercedes-Benz once stood for. This isn't just about individual dealerships struggling, it's a systemic issue that reflects a deeper misalignment between Mercedes-Benz's strategy and market demand. Once seen as the ultimate symbol of success, these vehicles are now considered overpriced in a market increasingly drawn to affordable electric options from domestic brands like BYD. Mercedes-Benz, on the other hand, finds itself stuck in a luxury niche that's shrinking as consumers prioritize value and practicality over prestige.